Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. You're checking out right now our second video in our series. So if you're just getting started with some foot strengthening exercises, you want to go back and look at our basics for foot strengthening exercises that don't utilize any tools or some of these more advanced movements. So getting started here, this one's not too advanced. We're just putting our foot into a supinated position here as we're putting the weight kind of on the outside of the foot on that slant board, or we're using a plate here at the gym. And we're practicing balancing in that position. Number one, get yourself established just being able to balance there. And then when you're ready for it, we're going to add in these extra movements to challenge the position. You can see I'm losing my balance some there in that point, but that's exactly what I want to do. If it was easy for me, I wouldn't be working the muscles in my feet. So we're going to make sure we work both sides here, turning around, and I'm getting my foot into a pronated position as well, and I'm going through the same series of strength exercises for my feet, trying to move around in different planes of motion, getting that stretch through the posterior chain there. And you just want to keep yourself moving for as long as you can until you can't tolerate the burn that's building up in the muscles in your feet. You may feel some in your calves or shin as well. So we're going to check out a different exercise here. You can see I'm using a couple new tools. So I've got some 3-inch round PVC pipes. You can pick these up at your hardware store. They just need to be about 2 feet long. And I've got a pair of dowel sticks you can also get at the hardware store or just use a pair of brooms, whatever you have, to give yourself some stability here so you can get a little more range of motion as you learn these exercises. So I'm externally rotated in the feet. My toes are pointing out in the duck-footed type position, and I'm rolling the entire bottom of my foot from my heel to my toe. As you see adversely here, we're switching it to the inside, so I'm turning those feet to the middle, and I'm trying to roll a little bit more weight now on the outside of my feet, hitting that third arch on the outside of my feet as well as the second arch in our behind our metatarsals in the behind our toes basically. So we're going to go back and forth on that. I like to do about 10 each direction warming up. Then we're going to walk out, same thing, we're going toes all the way up to the heels. You're really going to feel this one on the bottom of your feet, especially if you haven't been treating your feet very well. You know, the more pain, probably the more junky tissue you have in the bottom of your feet, and the more often you need to be doing this and getting those feet recovering from whatever it is you're doing, wearing a bad pair of shoes or doing long runs. So taking it up a notch as we get warmed up, working on a little bit more balance now, and still working on getting that fascia stretched out in the bottom of our feet and breaking down some of that scar tissue that gets built up from overuse and bad positions. I've spent a lot of years pronating, unaware of what I needed for proper shoe wear, and basically let shoes probably ruin my gait and my stance, and I've been working on that now for several years, recovering that and making a lot of progress with these exercises. So here, we're walking straight forward. We're balancing weight on the balls of our feet. So you can see my heel coming up, and I'm really not putting too much pressure down on my heel. Sometimes I even like to pull my heel off the edge of the pipe so I can't use my heel at all. And that way I'm really, again, just using the arch and the toes to grip down on that PVC pipe and work on that balance. So here, just working on somewhat of a static hold, working on getting my balance again, trying to add it in, make it a little bit more advanced, going back into that warrior 3 pose, getting a high knee, and then trying to balance that back out. So I would do both for both feet again until exhaustion, and then rest and try it again a few times. The other exercises we just need to run through one time, getting your feet warmed up. If you really feel like your feet need it, you can go ahead and go through it again and keep going through it until you feel like you're not making progress anymore. So one more advanced level you see here, attempting to slide this forward. So I'm getting my balance. Once I've done the first drill and I've started to balance and I'm doing okay, we're moving on to what you see here. Just keeping that balance and now moving forward. You got to be ready to fall. You definitely can fall when we're using these PVC pipes here. So if you're not ready for that or don't feel comfortable with it, keep the dowel sticks in your hands and save these for later. All right, now we're on to some plyometrics. So again, a little bit more advanced as we're jumping up and we're working on our balance. So I'm jumping up to the plate, sticking the landing, so I'm jumping up for that center of the plate right now, and I'm working on holding getting my balance, and then jumping off to that next position. So starting off with just that forward motion, and now we're working a lateral motion onto each side. I usually do several of these, about 5 in each direction when I'm doing it for my own work, but do what level works for you. So you should, again, feel some fatigue build up in the muscles below the knee, especially your feet, if you're using the balls of your feet on your landing. Just let that heel barely touch down so you can stretch out that calf and your heel cord with each rep, just as you should when you're running. Now we're adding in some 90-degree rotation, so just making it a little bit more complex, having to work those feet a little bit harder to catch our balance as we're rotating through the air. The next level here, we're looking at the Bosu ball. So now we're on a really unstable surface. You can see that ankle there, just bouncing in and out of pronation and supination as I'm working on trying to keep it as neutral as I can, and then adding in some movement. Challenging the position. Work on the balance first, get good at that, and then start adding in these other exercises. So here's another plyometric movement. Now I'm jumping and landing and working on getting that ankle in a good neutral position about right there. Alternating legs. A little bit better that time. So I was starting off landing a little bit pronated on that foot. But as you go and your body starts to adjust to these exercises, you start turning on the right muscle groups that are going to help you get in the good position. So this is one of my favorites I use before I start running. Just working the gas pedal drill here. I'm pushing that toe to heel weight back and forth. Now I'm going to work laterally. So I'm going in again the pronation and supination, in and out, something your foot's naturally going to do when you run. And possibly if you're running a lot of trails, which I do prefer, you're going to feel, you're definitely going to step on a rock or a little hole here, so your ankle's got to be ready to move. And those muscles need to be strong enough to balance and prevent that rolling. So that last exercise you saw me do, I'm just doing a 360-degree roll around the ball, trying to touch the outer edge of the ball to the floor like I'm painting a circle with the outer edge in both directions. Reps are generally about 10 for these exercises, but as you get better at them, you can definitely take them up longer. Again, with all of these, you're just going into the burn a little bit. So another plyometric, landing and balancing on that Bosu ball. Check out this more advanced plyometric exercise. Now we're doing a bilateral movement, both our feet working together. And I'm really working on landing at specific points. You can see there the outer edges of the plates and the boxes. So I'm using the balls on my feet and controlling where I'm jumping, as well as getting that stabilization upon landing. There's a descending jump there. Again, jump to balance on that Bosu ball, that unstable surface, control, and move through. Going through that, taking a full rest is important between those exercises. We're not trying to do it for endurance. We're really working on stabilizing the muscles. Okay, check out one of my favorite exercises for adding strength to your Achilles tendon. So we're doing a real slow eccentric motion on the way down. A minimum of a 4 count. You can build up on that, but this is really going to help you build strength in that heel cord. We're dropping all the way so far, our arch completely flattens out and we actually pronate in our foot. Just a 2-second contraction up. Work this till fatigue, and hopefully it will prevent you from ever having to deal with a heel cord injury. Hey, thanks for checking out our video today, guys. Be sure to check out our other videos. Like I said, our basic strength exercises for the feet, and many more involving how to improve your push-ups, skill exercises like double unders, toes to bar. Check out our video library at CoreFit Inc. Thanks.